All right, so a week ago today, I went on a long run, and during that long run, I had this plan of making a whole video where I would sit down and talk to you guys all about how I was going to plan out my week, how I was going to organize my week, how I was going to figure out exactly how I could get my training in, how I could get my sleep in, how I could get my time with my family in, how I could get my work in, how I could get all this done, and I was going to put it on a big fancy chart. Well, it's been a week since I made that video, and it has been one heck of a week. So things have changed drastically, and this channel is all about being real with you guys. So by the end of this video, when we come back from that long run, I am going to set you up with how I truly feel I need to figure out my weeks and figure out exactly where and how I prioritize all those things in my life to get my running in. So how does a parent working full-time and a runner actually fit serious training into the normal day? Sleep, work, family, and still find time to run and lift? It's a puzzle most runners face, and today we are breaking down exactly how we make it work. So it is Saturday morning, and it is a pretty quiet house, and the only thing between me and my long run this morning is my nice warm bed. And the only thing I really need right now is what we have every Saturday morning: coffee, bagel, peanut butter. Welcome to real life marathon training. All right, so Saturday morning, and it's almost 8 o'clock. It took me a little while to get out of the house, and I'll explain that in just a second. You know what's funny is that Saturdays are normally the one day during the week where it's really, really quiet in my house now. During the week, used to be that way when I got up super early. Nobody was up, and it was really quiet, and it was a little bit of me time while I had my coffee before I actually went out on my run and went to the gym. But now, my wife and my daughter have gone down this fitness journey, which is absolutely incredible, that for the last 3 months, 5 days a week, they've been getting up at 5, getting to the gym for 5:30, and working out for an hour, which is incredible. But this morning when I got up, I was getting ready, was having my coffee, and my son's alarm went off. His alarm for school, he forgot to turn that off for the weekend. So I got to spend a little bit of time with him before we got out on this run. But today's goal, there are two. First one is the long run we're about to go on. I've got anywhere between 26 and 30 kilometers, and most of that's going to be easy. The only way that I'm going to pick up the pace on any of that is that towards the end of the run, if I'm feeling good, I'll pick it up maybe to a steady pace, just if the legs are feeling really, really good. But the main goal today is time on feet. Now, goal number 2, which is probably more important to this video, and hopefully you've stuck around at least for the first couple of minutes to get this goal, is that I need to figure out how to balance all of the things I have going on in my life. I'm going to take the time to sit down and make a list of the most important things in my life. We're talking work, family, running, lifting, sleep, all of the things that are most important in my life. And we're going to figure out exactly whether I am able to create a balance of where each one of them get the time and attention that they deserve. And the reality of some of the things that might just not be able to do if I truly find my running and my lifting and my exercise to be important to me.
Okay, so quick stop at the car. Feeling okay. Almost 12 kilometers in, gonna have my first gel, so a little bit later than I planned on it. But while I was actually the church behind me, you probably can't see it for the trees, but while I was on the walking bridge that I run over quite a few times, I tried to film this little spot. It's pretty neat where there's a cutout and the cutout, when you take a picture just right, you get the outline of that church in the background. Anyways, small things that you discover in the city you live in that you never really knew about. So we're going to take this gel, continue on with the run. I feel like it's going to be an easy run today. Hopefully after the run I can convince my family to get out and have some lunch at the market. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's get this down. Finish this run. Talk to you guys after.
I think one of the hardest things to explain to somebody who is a non-runner is the middle of those long runs and just how much they put things into perspective and how much they sometimes reset you in the week. The week's stress is creeping in, but I like that quiet part of the run. Time to think, plan, or just breathe. These few kilometers are more valuable than any free hour in the day.
Decided to pick up the pace for a couple kilometers. It's feeling pretty strong, but the stomach is not 100% right now. All right, let's get this run done. We're about 23.5 kilometers in. Whew.
Some days it's tempting to cut the run short, but this is mental training too. Showing up when life is busy, that's what makes the long-term progress, not just the miles.
Okay, so actually just got home. I think I said earlier that I was going to try to meet my family at the market, but I called my wife from the car right before I headed across the river and headed back to the house, and she said we had leftovers, so no market this morning. Got a lot to eat up in the fridge, probably lots of rice, probably lots of meat. Still good. I'm still hungry. 30 kilometers went really, really well. Let's get in, let's get to the office, and let's break down exactly how we're going to set those priorities. I haven't forgotten about that. I haven't forgotten about how we're going to work that out. All right, let's go.
So welcome back to the office. Yes, it has been a week since I went on that run, like I said at the first of this video, and I'm kind of glad I didn't get the chance to sit down and film the second part of this until now, because last week after I went on that long run, and the long run went quite well, by the way. It's funny sometimes how when I start a run and I'm doubting myself, I doubt myself a lot when I'm on these runs because I'm always just so tired that I'm not going to be able to pick up the pace. I'm not going to go with whatever my original plan was, and I was able to pull it off. Originally, and not what I said in the video when I was out on the run, was that I had planned to be able to pick up the pace for a few kilometers and not just pick it up if I was feeling really good. And I was able to do that. So really, really excited that was able to happen. But I'm glad that I was able to take the week to think about this, because after I went on that long run, I came back to the house and I took some notes. And those notes said things like 7 hours of sleep every night, 9.5 hours Monday to Friday to get to and from work, including my work, a couple hours with the family, 2 hours running. All of these things that ended up being, as we sit here now, not realistic. So look, life does get really messy. And when it comes to figuring out how you're going to fit all that training in for that marathon, that half marathon, that 5K, 10K, ultra marathon, whatever you plan on doing, it's important that you remember that. And it's important that when we look at how we're going to fit that in, I still think it's really important that you do sit down at some point if you're feeling squeezed on so many things and be realistic with yourself. Look at how much time you spend at work. Look at how much sleep you think you actually need. Look at how much time you hope to devote to your family each and every day, including the weekends, and figure out whether it's even actually possible based on all the things. It's important that we be real with ourselves. It's important that we be true to what we're able to accomplish. And not so much so that we don't try to go after things, but more that we're realistic and we figure out exactly the best way to approach our training and fit that into all of the other things. So instead of trying to sit down and figure out an exact perfect schedule, which is never going to exist, I've come up with 4 things that I'm going to focus on that I think are going to help me put things into perspective, but also give me the focus I need to be able to fit it all in the best I can, because that's the ultimate goal here. So number 1 is be flexible. Life happens. Some days go perfect, some days don't. Just be flexible with your day. Don't try to be too rigid. And number 2 is try to be consistent with your training, but don't let it derail some of those things that you say are truly more important to you than the training. A really good example for me is Saturdays. It's early morning Saturday here. I'm about to go on my long run right after I film this. I'll come back and edit this tonight. But after I go on that long run, I'm going to come back and I'm going to have the rest of Saturday to spend with my family. And the goal there would be to not completely wipe myself out during that long run. If that happens, if I can't do anything for the rest of the day because I wipe myself out too much on a Saturday morning long run and I'm not able to spend time with my family, that means that something has to be changed. Something within my training has to be adjusted to make that fit a little bit better into what truly matters. And number 3 is just understand that things aren't always going to go perfect. Some days you're going to lose a little bit of sleep because you got to get up early to get that training in. Some days you're going to have to shorten that training run in order to be able to spend some more time with the family. And some days you've got other responsibilities that are going to come completely out of left field that you have to deal with, because that's all part of life. Not every day is going to be perfect. You just have to figure it out. And number 4, and this is the one I probably want to remind myself of the most, is that respect and understand just how much sacrifice your family is actually making for you to chase down those crazy dreams that you have, to run those PRs, to run those races, to go to those world majors, everything that you're trying to do within your running, the sacrifices that they're also making, those early mornings, those late nights. My alarm goes off and every once in a while it wakes somebody up in the house, or on the weekends where I'm feeling a little bit extra tired because of all the extra training that I've put in through the week, or the extra money that we spend on shoes and races and everything that we do. It has an impact on the people around you too. And what that really means is that I owe it to them to figure out a way to have training fit in with everything else and not have everything else just fit in with the training. So yeah, just 4 rules that are completely different than how I thought I was originally going to make this video. Not as tight and neat and put together as I originally thought, but that's life. We've got to be flexible. We've got to fit training into life and not always the other way around. Guys, that's my thoughts. I plan on sharing with you so much more about my training through the weeks and months as we reach for some huge goals in the spring. Huge goals in the spring. I've noticed that my fitness is actually in a good spot this time of year relative to where it has been in years in the past. Excited about all that. Going to talk about all that later. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Matt, and this has been What Matters Matt, and ultimately, what matters to me most is my family. I will see you guys in the next video.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be